today's contestants. Player 1. And now, here is the host of Jeopardy, Alex Trebek.
Thank you, Johnny Gilbert. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. You look eager to get underway, so let's get right into it. The first round of play today has these categories for you. This means war, manimal, pop culture, music class, party, and under the sea. All right, let's get back into this. Player 1 has control of the board. We're flying past 10,000 feet on our way to this. The altitude will maintain en route, 35,000 feet. Here's the correct response. Cruising. Player 1, back to you for our next selection. Kelly?
Ledger lines are for notes that don't fit on the 5-line staff, like this note that can be shown one line below the treble staff or one line above the bass staff.
Player 1, use the Wii remote or press the corresponding... Yeah, good. Player 1, pick again. The modern Hebrew and Arabic alphabets consist only of this type of letter. Let's hear it, Player 1. That's incorrect. The correct response is a consonant. Select again. It's the South American national capital city that fits the category. Here's what we were looking for. Caracas. Player 1, you pick again, please. Found in South Africa in 1905, this 3,106-carat diamond went to Amsterdam for cutting. Here's the correct response. The Cullinan. Player 1, back to you. In a Rudyard Kipling story, one of these animals saves a family from a deadly cobra. Okay, Player 1. You are correct. On the plus side again. You get to pick again, Player 1. A rhesus or a macaque? Yes, Player 1. Yes. You again, Player 1. Of the 3 animals on Ontario, Canada's coat of arms, the one that fits the category. It's Player 1. That is correct. Choose again, Player 1. The scarlet species of this tropical flyer is known for its brilliant plumage and strong voice. Okay, Player 1. Good. We return to you, Player 1. We're sure you'll just love Ondatra zebethicus, this rodent. Here's what we wanted. The muskrat. Player 1, pick again. On sheet music, this sign identifies the second line of the staff as the G above middle C. Player 1. Yeah! Hey, you're right. Player 1, back to you for our next selection. The name of this section of an orchestra comes from the Latin for a beating. Let's hear it, Player 1. Yeah. Right. Choose again, Player 1. Here's Kelly to start us off.
The guitarist here is playing one of these, defined as a combination of 3 or more notes.
Yes, Player 1. That is correct. You again, Player 1. You may have studied these Chopin pieces whose name is French for studies. Here's the response we were looking for. Etudes. We return to you, Player 1. Rachmaninoff wrote one on a theme of Paganini. Gershwin wrote one in blue. Here's the correct response. A rhapsody. You get to pick again, Player 1. Let's get Kelly's assistance on this clue.
Glasses with colored filters in each eye let you watch films in 3D. At the 2010 Grammys, the audience donned them for a montage from this performer's This Is It.
Here's the correct response. Michael Jackson. Please pick again, player one. In I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry, Kevin James weds this Hanukkah song guy at Niagara Falls. The correct response is Adam Sandler. Player one, back to you. Michael C. Hall of 6 Feet Under went to Showtime to play this homicidal title character. Here's the response we were looking for. Dexter Morgan. Select again. In 1964, he topped the pop music charts with the title song from Hello, Dolly. Player one. We're talking about Louis Armstrong. Player one, you pick again, please. Woo! Answer, the Daily Double. You are currently in the lead. Decide on your wager, player one. Answer, a 2-time Oscar-winning actress. One of her first jobs was as the Coppertone suntan lotion girl at age 3 in 1965. That's correct. Select again. Paper gifts are the traditional gifts at the party for this anniversary of a married couple. It's player one. Woo! Yes. Player one. You pick again, please. The British passed 1774's Intolerable Acts to punish Massachusetts for a party in its harbor. Yes, player one. Whoa! Correct. You get to pick again, player one. It's the beverage that would be most appropriate at the wild, riotous bacchanalia we've got planned. Here's what we were looking for. Wine. We return to you, player one. Oktoberfest is a 16-day party held every year in this Bavarian city. Okay, player one. Sorry. Here's what we wanted. Munich. Player one, back to you. In Mexico, a quinceañera is a girl's coming-of-age party on this birthday. Let's hear it, player one. Right. Choose again, player one. During the Revolutionary War, volunteers ready to fight with 60 seconds notice were called these. It's player one. You got it. You again, player one. In this U.S. war, it was the Yanks versus the Confederates. Okay, player one. Correct. Please pick again, player one. This future state declared its independence in 1836 during a war with Mexico. Yes, player one. Right you are. Player one, back to you for our next selection. Lasting from 1957 to this year, the Vietnam War is the longest in which the United States has taken part. Player one. Nope. Here's the correct response. 1975. And here's the $1,000 clue. The 100 Years' War, 1337 to 1453, was fought between England and this country. Let's hear it, player one. That's correct. The Double Jeopardy round will begin right after this. Let's see what happens in Double Jeopardy with these categories awaiting the players. Defined in the OED, an organic category. World facts. The Old Testament. Entertainment history. And whacked. All right, if you're ready, it's Double Jeopardy time. An anarchist named Bresci killed King Umberto of this country in 1900. Yes, player one. Sorry, that's wrong. The correct response is Italy. Player one, pick again. Mexico, 1940. Looks like this former number 2 man under Lenin in Russia got whacked, literally. Here's what we were looking for. Leon Trotsky. Choose again, player one. Brother Ike took a powder as Billy of this family was gunned down at the OK Corral. Here's what we wanted. Clanton. Player one, pick again. This soon-to-be saint was killed by 4 of Henry II's men after excommunicating some bishops and barons. Here's the correct response. Thomas à Becket. We return to you, player one. Patrice Lumumba helped the Congo gain independence from this country in 1960. He was killed less than a year later. We're talking about Belgium. You get to pick again, player one. Born William Claude Dukenfield, he took this last name as his stage name. Here's the response we were looking for. Fields. Player one, back to you. Dance style of Brothers and Kennedy Center honorees Fayard and Harold Nicholas. Here's the correct response. Tap. Select again. In vaudeville, Jerry, Helen, Josephine, and George M. were the 4 these. Here's what we wanted. The Cohans. Player one, you pick again, please. Rochester. Did you know that in 1953, Harry Shearer played this comic as a boy on his self-titled TV program? Player one? That's right. Way to go. You again, player one. Kathy Lewis was this title character paired with Fibber McGee on a 50s TV show based on a hit radio show. Here's the correct response. Molly. Player one, back to you for our next selection. This book says Noah's Ark was 300 cubits in length, making it about 500 feet long. It's player one. Yeah! That's it. Please pick again, player one. Jacob and this other twin son of Rebekah even struggled against each other in their mother's womb. Let's hear it, player one. Yep. You again, player one. In Samuel 28, the prophet Samuel appears to King Saul and predicts his defeat by this group. Okay, player one. Woo! Right. You get to pick again, player one. According to the Bible, she was not only Abraham's wife, she was also his half-sister. It's player one. Good. Player one, pick again. Yeah! Answer, one of the daily double. You are in the lead right now. Please enter your wager. Okay, here is the clue. Deuteronomy may mean second law, but it's this number book of the Old Testament. Yes. Player one, back to you. Lots of peridot has been found on the island of Zeebrugge in this colorful sea off Africa. Okay, player one. No. The correct response is the Red Sea. We return to you, player one. Quite simply, this semolina favorite is the national dish of Algeria. Here's what we were looking for. Couscous. Choose again, player one. 1/3 of the people in this South American country live in Montevideo. Most of its 15 million sheep don't. Here's the response we were looking for. Uruguay. Player one, back to you for our next selection.
Yeah!
Answer, the second daily double. And you're in the lead now. How much? Here is your clue. Hordes of people know that Ulaanbaatar is this ancient Asian nation's capital.
Oh,
No. We're talking about Mongolia. Player one, you pick again, please. Mount Shakara in these mountains is the highest peak in Georgia, the country, not the state. Here's the correct response. The Caucasus. Select again. A dialysis machine is also called an artificial one of these organs. Let's hear it, player one. Correct. Please pick again, player one. Alveoli are tiny sacs clustered like grapes in these organs. Yes, player one. Good for you. Choose again, player one. Though this organ has no known use, it can harm you if it ruptures, creating the risk of peritonitis. Player one? Right. You again, player one. The hepatic duct carries bile from the liver to this organ for storage. It's player one.
yeah!
You got it. You get to pick again, player one. The islets of Langerhans aren't a vacation spot, but a group of cells in this organ. Here's what we wanted. The pancreas. Select again. The director of an orchestra or chorus. Player one? Right you are. Player one, you pick again, please. A lofty tower forming part of a church. Okay, player one. Correct. We return to you, player one. A large, many-celled berry with a leathery yellow, orange, or red rind. Let's hear it, player one. Oh, sorry. Here's the response we were looking for. A pomegranate. Player one, back to you for a road junction designed so that traffic streams do not intersect. Yes, player one. No. The correct response is an interchange. And the last clue for $2,000. To move from site to site on the internet. It's player one. That's correct. Good game. I'll see you for Final Jeopardy in a moment. Here comes the Final Jeopardy, players. The category is this: Midwest topography. What are you going to wager? Each direction on the plus control pad represents a different response. Press a direction to select an answer. This is a good category. Here's the clue for you. This state has the largest sand dunes complex in the United States, just north of a river named for its flatness. your response? And that will set you back. We're talking about Nebraska. This makes you our new champion, Player One. So congratulations. So long, everybody.